Joining me right now is Wisconsin Congressman Scott Fitzgerald, member of the House Judiciary Committee. Congressman, good to see you. What are your thoughts on this bill?
Yeah, I think Senator Lankford was given a difficult task, and that was to try and negotiate a moderate bill in the U.S. Senate that was somehow going to make its way through the House of Representatives. I mean, now you look back on it, and there was no way that they were going to be able to develop a compromise bill that was going to achieve all these individual goals that had been set. And it's just been a disaster. Last night in the whip meeting, it was very clear that this is something that possibly doesn't make it out of the Senate, like you said, and is dead on arrival over in the House.
What were the main complaints in the whip meeting?
I think most of the people were focused on, more money for the NGOs. That is a sore spot for all of us who have watched this, and you've been at the border many times, when you see individuals with a brown envelope underneath their arm and a major municipality within the states listed there. The NGOs fund the trip over to the Houston airport if you're in McAllen, like I was when I saw this. And then these illegals are boarding airplanes, unable to speak a word of English, and then simply flown all over the United States. That's all being done by the NGOs. Now, we're supposed to sign off on a bill that puts more resources in that area? It's infuriating.
Now, what about this issue over the 5,000 people? You can't do anything until 5,000 people come in. What are your thoughts there? Because going into this, looking at the actual text, all we kept hearing from the writers of this legislation, Kirsten Sinema and James Lankford, is that, oh, don't believe what you read on the internet and don't believe the hype about the 5,000. But in fact, that is what it is, right? 5,000 have to come in before anything gets done about it.
Yeah, it's even worse, I think. It's a rolling total of 5,000. Gives the ability to the executive branch to simply cut that off at any time they want to and allow as many illegals back over the border. So if you kind of look at the numbers that they've been tossing around, it's pretty much very similar to what was on the internet before the bill was released. Now that we've seen the text, I mean, that's a huge issue and a huge give that the Republicans must have sat across the table from the Democrats on and said, yeah, this is something we think that makes sense. It's just another piece of this very bad bill.
So all of these senators who are pushing this bill, where are they on the impeachment of Alejandro Mayorkas? Because the Department of Homeland Security Secretary is attempting to use this Senate deal to blame Congress for the border crisis. Is he not? He posted this on X. The bill will address the border challenge after decades of congressional inaction. This, as House Republican leadership warns, the shutdown authority in the bill is riddled with loopholes that could grant far too much discretionary authority to Mayorkas. The House could vote on impeaching Mayorkas as soon as today. He's accused of refusing to comply with law, federal immigration law, breaching public trust, Congressman. So what Alejandro Mayorkas is writing on X is that it's your fault. You and your colleagues, it's your fault.
Right. He's been before the Judiciary Committee a number of times, a committee I sit on. I've been able to ask him questions directly. I think the area that most members are really upset about is when he sat there after raising his right hand and swearing to tell the truth and said with a straight face that there was full operational control of the border. We laughed amongst ourselves when he would say it, because it's absolutely just not true. And for him to once again kind of relay that information to the executive branch, I mean, if that's the information he was given to the president, obviously we're in an area that certainly, I think, one of the two articles of impeachment would be right on the mark with.
All right, Congressman, we're going to be watching. Do you think at the end of this day this bill fails?
Yeah, I think, like the Speaker said, I think it's dead on arrival over in the House, and as a result of that, it's not going to get the momentum that it probably needs over in the Senate.
All right, Congressman, we'll be watching all of this. Great to have you this morning. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Maria.